Today, I'm going to judge some books by their covers, and you're going to help me. What's going on, guys? So in a recent video, I made the statement that you can't always judge a book by its cover, but most of the time you can. So today, we're going to see if that actually holds true. So we're headed up to the bookstore to judge some books by their covers, and you guys are going to help me out. And jump cut. Okay, so I'm going to piece that one together with the other video, and it's going to look... Okay, so let's go over some of the details of what we're actually doing today, because yes, we're judging some books by their covers, but what does that entail? What are the details of this little challenge I've put on myself? Well, I'd like to find 5 books that I can add to my TBR without looking at the description at all, based solely on the cover. And so what I'm going to do is my rules are I must select 5 books to add to the TBR. Only 2 of them can be fantasy books, 1 sci-fi book, 1 suspense, horror, or thriller book, and then 1 wild card. And so it's going to limit me, which is actually going to broaden my reading scope. So I'm going to limit myself to 2 fantasy books, 1 sci-fi book, 1 thriller type book, and then 1 wild card. And the wild card is there just so that way if I see something that looks really cool, regardless of the genre, I can pull it. So this could be, maybe a 3rd fantasy, maybe a 2nd sci-fi, maybe a YA book. I don't know, probably not. But I'm not allowed to read the description at all. It can't be a book that I already know the plot, and there can be no repeat authors. And so then at the end, I'm going to show you all 5 books, and you guys are going to vote down in the comment section below. And the book that gets the most votes, I'm going to have to read in August. And so this is just, I think, a fun, interesting little way for you guys to kind of play along, but also maybe I'll pick something up that I otherwise wouldn't. So yeah, so what we're doing today is we're just looking at covers, can't look at the backs of the books, and just picking them up, seeing what jumps out at us, and adding those things to the TBR. Now, does that mean that I have to finish the book? No. So if you guys pick a book and it's full of all kinds of inclusive stuff, it's going right back to the store probably, or going in the garbage one. I'm gonna try my best to pick things that maybe don't look like I might have to put it down. Again, we're just basing it off the cover, so we don't really know. And I'm hoping we find some book covers that are hilarious and that are going to be definite exclusions to my TBR. So yeah, come along with us as we head to the bookstore. Okay, so we're here at the bookstore. I'm here with my 2 cameramen, well, camera lad and lass. They're my little helpers today. And so let's go into the bookstore and see if we can't go judge some books by their covers. Let's head to the first and most important section, which is fantasy.
Well, let's check down here first. I mean, if we're going based on just cool covers, maybe this one. So at the time of recording this, I'll be finishing this up tonight. So I'd love to say, hey, pick this one, but I'm gonna read it anyway. So, okay, I think I found our first contender. So come right here. Come right here. Look at this one. Okay, so I have heard of this. I don't think it's breaking the rules because I don't know anything about it, but this cover is awesome. This is Witchy Eye by DJ Butler, and I know that Christopher Rocchio has talked quite a bit about it. I haven't heard what it's about, but it looks awesome. By Bain Books. Yeah, I'm gonna say Witchy Eye by DJ Butler for our first addition to the TBR. I think this is sci-fi. I think this would be our sci-fi pick. So yeah, Witchy Eye, DJ Butler is definitely the one I'm going with. I actually hate those kind of B-roll shots where people walk by because then you know they set the camera up and then have to go back and get the camera. So I just thought it would be funny. Okay, so yes, it does count as science fiction. So that is going to be our sci-fi pick for hour 5 of the TBR. Let's see if we can't find some others. A Star Wars book would be really cool, but yeah, it's supposed to be something I don't know anything about. Unfortunately, I already know about the Warhammer universe, and I've heard so many good things about the Night Lord Omnibus. I'd love to pick that one up, but not today, I guess. Let's straighten that one up. That's super cool. Also, I'm planning on jumping into this book very soon. Ooh. No. Also no. Alright, so let's see. Let's look over here at the fantasy section. It's actually going to be a little more difficult to find books that I don't know anything about. But if I'm going just based off of the cover, alright, this one looks pretty cool. Return of the Wizard King. I have no idea what this is. It's Dark Horse, so it's a comic book. Or at least it was a comic book, I guess. That one's super cool looking. What do you guys think? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, let's say Return of the Wizard King by Chad Corey. That's going to be one of our fantasy pickups. Let's add that one to the TBR. So that's going to be book number 2. Okay, so now we need another fantasy book. I'd love for you guys to yell out the anything Robin Hobb, because I read Farseer and it was great. Also, Will the Mini. I'm going to be reading that in the next month or so. Yeah, it's going to be difficult to find something that I don't know anything about. What do we have here? The Malice by Peter Newman. That's pretty cool looking. And it doesn't say book 1. So that very well could be a standalone. And it looks like maybe science fantasy. Let's put this on the maybe pile. How cool are these Naomi Novik, her Dragon series with the spines? That's just awesome. Terry Pratchett. Unfortunately, I know about Discworld. That would be a really good shout. Now, if you want to talk covers, I think that's one of the coolest covers of like the decade. That is super cool. Maybe not. That's super thick. I'm looking for something a little shorter. Also, I really want to get into some Brent Weeks soon. Yeah, that would be really cool. Ooh. Samwise, do you see what I see? Too bad I can't do it because I already know what it's about. But I'll come back to that soon. Sorry, buddy. Alright, let's look and see. There's my son making a mess, dropping books. Oh, what do we got here? I'm just kidding. I ain't picking that up. That's trash. Look, $7 off. I wonder why. We'll come back to fantasy. Let's look and see if I can't find something kind of thriller or horror that I don't know anything about. I'll tell you what. why don't y'all do this? I'm gonna let you guys pick. So I'm gonna let Mr. Producer and Miss Camera Lady, I'm gonna let y'all go over the fantasy section over here, and y'all go pick me out a book and bring one. Hey, you have to agree on it. Just off the cover, okay? I've heard a lot about T. Kingfisher, but I don't know anything about her really. I think I've heard that she's got some inclusive stuff in her books, and so maybe I'll steer clear. Ooh, this one looks weird. Pinata. Whoa. Okay. That may be my pick for the horror book. I'll just say a tentative yes. Let's see if I find something better. Ooh, Clive Barker. I've heard of him, but I don't know anything about him. That looks like it's just a standalone. Weave World. That looks pretty cool. It doesn't just jump out at me though. Yeah. Let's see if we can find something else. Slewfoot has a really cool cover, but I've heard from some friends that it may not be for me.
Says you know it or not.
I do. I know this, and I have this. Yeah, unfortunately. Good pick, though. What about some Ronald Malfi? I've heard a lot about Ronald Malfi from Mike as of late, and I don't know anything about his stories other than they're like horror. Narrows. That's okay. Come with me. Black Mouse. None of these covers really jump out at me. Maybe that one. I've been really wanting to get into a good horror novel, one that kind of gives me like the same kind of feeling as Silver Bullet. So I think I'm gonna say Small Town Horror by Ronald Malfi. It's gonna be my horror pick. Okay, so I don't think that I can actually count that because this is a challenge based off of the covers. So I'll come back to Ronald Malfi at another time. Okay, so I think our horror winner is probably going to be this one, Pinata by Leopoldo Gout. Yeah, that is super creepy looking, unless I can find some other thriller. Yeah, let's just say, let's count this as number 3. Number 3, Pinata, which is hilarious. That's what I'm going with. So we still need another fantasy book. Okay, just real quick. This is not something I would ever read. That's got YA written all over it. Alright guys, I gotta show you one of the worst covers I think I've ever seen, and it just has me laughing like crazy. Okay, so this is Gideon the Ninth. I know this is a pretty popular book on YouTube. Let me just read you the tagline on the front. Lesbian necromancers explore a haunted Gothic palace in space. Yeah, that's gonna be a no. Okay, so we're coming back to this one. So this is officially book number 4. It's going to be The Malice by Peter Newman. So that gives us 2 fantasy, 1 sci-fi, 1 horror. We have to find a wild card. So before we do that, I'm going to take the kiddos to go see some of the books they like. Let's see.
3 things.
Alright, now it's time for some rapid fire judgment on book covers. Dumb. Way too plain. Very cool. This looks like it belongs in the Buffy the Vampire universe. This is like 30 years old. Not good. Too plain. Excellent. Excellent. Really cool. Dumb. Very cool. Is that a Jurassic Park flag? That is awesome. Honestly, and being completely objective, not really a fan. I've never really been crazy about that. Pretty cool. But I hate this style of cover where it's like cuts off the edge right here. I hate that. Really cool. I don't know why, but I really like that. That's cool. Oh, that looks cool too. Even though I don't read romance, I really like these new old school covers. I love the art style. I think those are super cool. I think these are a lot better a lot better and much more well done than something like this or this. Ooh, that's really cool. Yeah, that's creepy looking. Future video, maybe. Let's see. I would love to pick this one up, but I already know about it. And I do have book 1, and I plan to read it, and I plan to read that one. That is cool, though. I know a little bit about Riley Sager. I know he's a thriller author. Middle of the Night. Maybe that one? I would say Lightfall, but I know what it's about. So if not for already knowing, I would pick this one because that is a cool cover. I think I might go with this one. So yeah, book number 5, Wild Card. All right, so here's our 5 picks. We have Witchy Eye by DJ Butler. For our sci-fi, we have Return of the Wizard King by Chad Corey. As fantasy number 1, we have Pinata by Leopoldo Gout, which is our horror pick for book number 3. Then we have The Malice by Peter Newman, which is fantasy book number 2. And then for our wild card, we have Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. All I know is that he is a thriller writer. So yeah, out of these 5, guys, down in the comment section below, let me know which one you want me to read next month, and I absolutely will.
Okay, guys, so yeah, those were our 5 choices for our judging books by their covers. I'm going to call this episode 1 because I think this would be a cool, fun video idea to do periodically. It lets you guys interact with me and help me pick some books that I otherwise may not pick up. So me and the kids are hungry, and we're going to go grab some lunch, and we're going to head back home. All right, guys, so that will do it for our 5 books that we're selecting based on the cover. So we just judged some books by their cover. Again, go and comment down below which of those 5 you would like for me to read next month, and I absolutely will. And it's completely up to you guys. Thank you guys for coming along. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We just wanted to do a fun little video where we kind of hung out and brought you guys along with us. So thanks again for coming and hanging out with us, and we'll see you on the next one.